Okay, the end of the quiz, everyone's favorite word problems. All right, so we look at A and we are given T to use as a variable, but we got to ask ourselves, well, what is T going to stand for? So we look at the question and it asks, what was the temperature yesterday? So that's what our T is going to represent. So anytime I see temperature yesterday, I'm going to replace it with a T. So today's temperature is 33 degrees there. It was yesterday. So I'm going to write this as T. Okay, now let's start at the beginning. Today's temperature was 28 degrees. Okay, that's my first number. I'm going to write it here. Keep going, and then I see is. What does is mean in math? Is equals. Then I see 30 degrees higher. So that means I'm going to be adding something to 30, or I'm going to be adding 30 to something, I guess I should say. And now, what is that? Well, it's T. It's 30 degrees higher than T. So this would have been my equation. 28 is equal to T plus 30. And now I solve it. So I draw my river. I need to subtract 30 on both sides. And when I do that, I leave change opposite. A positive 28 plus a negative 30 is negative 2. I get equals and I get T. And so if you graphed your solution, we don't typically do that with equations, but we can. It would look like this. Now we do our check. So that means we rewrite our original problem and we just make sure that the math is right. Now I will say that if you wrote your equation incorrectly, you're not going to catch your mistake. So that's why I put in the I and B notes to always ask yourself, does it make sense? All right. Very many of you, very many, that's a silly phrase, but many of you got the answer of 58. Okay. And I would ask you, does it make sense? It says today's temperature is 28 degrees, which is 30 degrees higher than it was yesterday. That means yesterday is colder than 28 degrees. There's no way it was 58 yesterday. All right, so just always ask yourself, does it make sense? Okay, moving on to B. Speaking of making sense, if you got an answer of like 3 point something, like 3.6 or 3.3, does that make any sense? Can you have 3 point something M&Ms in a package and share that among 5 people and each person's getting more than 18 candies? No. All right, so let's figure out what it is. Okay, M is going to represent the M&Ms in the package. So when a bag of M&Ms is shared, I'm going to replace that with M. Now, when we share things, we're dividing it up. We're taking that bag of M candies, we're dividing it by 5 people. So there's my bottom number. And then it says each person gets more than, that is greater than, 18 pieces. 18 goes over here. This is the inequality you should have written. Now we solve it. So we draw our river. In order to get rid of division by 5, we multiply by 5 because 5 on the top, 5 on the bottom cancels out. I multiply by 5 over here and I get 90, and that's M. So we have M is greater than 90. I can put my dot here. I'm going to have an open dot because it's not greater than or equal to, and it goes this away. All right, let's check and make sure that we think we're right. We have M divided by 5 is greater than 18. Parenthetical promise, I'm going to put in, let's say 100. 100 is an easy number to work with. So I ask myself, if I take 100 M&Ms and I share it among 5 people, well, obviously everybody's going to get 20. Is 20 greater than 18? Last time I checked, so I know that I'm right. Hope this helps.